I don't know if I'm on yet. Hopefully I am. We shall see. I don't know if I'm legal yet. I don't know if I'm on yet. Okay, I am on. I don't know if I'm
Okay.
legal yet.
Awesome.
I don't know if I'm on yet. Okay, I am on.
I don't know if I'm
Okay.
legal yet.
Awesome. All right. Um to start this day out, I have been trying to get a hold of Autism Speaks. To ask Token here. Okay, so I wanted to ask Token here um, a few questions. That's Eileen Lamb. She is their media person. And so I'm going to call Autism Speaks right now. And I've called them many times yesterday, but they didn't respond. They might have had the day off because of Easter Sunday or, the Monday after or whatever. No. Okay, contact us. You know what? I'm going to do this on the computer because it's easier. Um, let's see. Autism Speaks. Phone. Okay, so a lot of these numbers that they have, I'm going to put my phone on speaker here. A lot of these numbers that they have, thankfully, don't work, which is cool. I don't think anybody's really doing the type of looking into Autism Speaks as I am right now, but we shall see. So we shall see what happens. I'm going to put this up to my microphone here.
Thank you for calling the Autism Response Team at Autism Speaks. Para Español, presione uno. To turn off hold music, please press 2.
Okay.
Thank you for calling the Autism Response Team at Autism Speaks.
Like,
our team is available for live calls from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through
and
Friday.
yesterday they weren't available at all.
Zone. Please feel free to reach out during those live call hours.
And it is those live call hours, by the way.
At help@autismspeaks.org. If you are reaching out during our live call hours and we are unable to answer your call at this time, we are likely experiencing exceptionally high call.
We're likely spending the millions and millions of dollars that we're collecting for our executives and bonuses. So we're counting that money, and when it's millions and millions of dollars, it takes a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? So this is, let's see, contact Autism Speaks.
If you know the extension for the person you wish to speak to, you can dial it at any time. Otherwise, please choose from the following 4 options.
I hope you can
For
hear this okay.
Resources or to speak to our Autism Response Team, please press 1. For Spanish speakers, please press 2. Para Español, oprime el número 2. For donation-related questions, please press 3. For all other questions, please press 4.
Okay, pressing 4. It's going to be recording.
I tried to connect you.
This is going to be such an interesting conversation.
Your call has been forwarded to the voicemail for DC office. No one is available to take your call. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press the pound key for more options.
Howdy. This is David Page. I would like to interview Keith Wargo or Eileen Lamb, particularly, if given the opportunity. Please return my All right, that's I had to give them my phone number so they could call me back. Um, but they that was their Washington field office, and they what is this? Autism speaks Cobb County? What? Okay, so this is Atlanta, Georgia. Now I'm going to try this one. This is interesting. See if I can get a hold of anyone, then they'll have the actual phone numbers to get a hold of the actual people that they don't give in public, and thus they'll actually be able to get a hold of these people. So I'll just call Atlanta. I know they're not in Atlanta, Georgia, but that's the number I'm calling because that's the number they gave. Let's see here. Uh, okay, so we're dialing now. Yeah, this is so sad that I gotta sit here and do this, and we're not even getting like it's not even connected at all. It looks like. Yeah. So I put autism speaks. Wait. But maybe if I spell it right, PHONE. No, actually, it probably picked it up the same. It doesn't make any difference. But yeah, I'm having a hell of a time. The color of autism? I haven't seen that. Let's call us. Let's see what that says. Okay, here we go. We're gonna try this one. 313-241-7841. We'll see if we get a person. So this is what's going to happen. I'm eventually going to get a hold of somebody. Like I said, I've left multiple messages, but I don't think they're
Hello,
ever
and thank you for
going to get a
calling the
hold of me
Color
by
Autism
any means.
Foundation. We're currently unavailable to take your call. If you would kindly leave a detailed message, we'll return your call as soon as possible. Thank you. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may
Okay,
hang
come
up
on.
or press 1 for more options.
Howdy, my name is David Page. I have been trying to get a hold of Keith Wargo or Elaine Lamb as they have sent me personal emails wanting to my input on what autistic people need. I would like to interview either one of them or anyone from Autism Speaks. Eileen has mentioned that there are some misconceptions about Autism Speaks. I would like to give her the opportunity on my live stream to address those misconceptions. And I do have some hard questions for her concerning like the lobbying and so forth, and the giving money to uh, the Republican Party so Republicans can be elected into the office. Yeah, there's some serious questions I got. So please give me a call. I can be reached at thank you very much for your time, and I am looking forward to getting an answer. Okay. Whoa. I don't know this number. It says call us. It looks like it's. Oh, it's Australian. Okay. Yeah, we can't do Australia. Okay, so here's another one. We'll go 888. This is kind of cool. I mean, if it's this hard to get a hold of Autism Speaks, that's great. Oh, I tried this one before. 4762. Yeah. Connect. Contact Autism Speaks. First thing that pops up, donate today. It's always donate, donate, donate. And so here is contact us. Let's get a phone number, maybe. Ah, here we go. This is donation questions. Nobody else is answering, so like who cares? I'm just gonna get a hold of whoever I can. So 202. It's amazing. I'm enjoying the fact that it's so hard to get a hold of them. Um, That means that, like, they should have had all this shit squared away uh, before April to have their phone numbers right. Like, come on. It's their biggest donation month is April, I'm sure.
Thank you for calling Autism Speaks.
So we're
If
back
you
in
know the
Washington,
extension for the person you wish to speak to, you can dial it at any time.
and so they're basically
Otherwise,
not going to
please
answer.
choose from the following four options. For information resources or to speak to our autism response team, please press 1. For Spanish speakers, please press 2. Para español, oprime.
Watch, I'm gonna try Spanish.
Your call has been forwarded to the voicemail for Spanish Assistance DC. No one is available to take your call. At this time,
I was about to speak in English in that. um, wow, this is really phone number. Uh, boy, this get hard. Get real hard to get a hold of them. L.A. County. L.A. County. Okay, I'm gonna call L.A. County. And like I said, these people will have the actual numbers to where they can actually get through people's private lines and all that stuff. So that's what I'm going for. So I'm calling LA now. Oh, it looks like we got some.
Call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number and dial.
Okay, so Autism Speaks LA sucks. Okay, Texas. Let's go to Texas. 888-288-47, and it's 4762. It's that same number. Um, American Autism Center. See, we're getting out of Autism Speaks now. Wow. I guess there's. Wait, Autism Speaks Buckeye Road. Oh, this is Georgia. This is Georgia. This might be a good one because I think they have a pretty big office in Georgia and maybe Maryland. We'll try Georgia. Whoops. All right, we will go back to speaker. I can't believe I've been at this long. This is
Thank
great.
you for calling McKesson Medical Surgical. Please note, our phone system now uses 10-digit extensions. If you know your party's
Okay, definitely not Autism Speaks. New York? Okay, here's a New York telephone. Okay, it says okay, no, that's New York. Project Hope. I want to see what they say here. Home. It's so sad. You know, every one of these is always about children. I think children are great and should be a huge priority, but not at the expense of completely ignoring um, adults. Okay, so this is advertising autism response team again, which is probably going to take us to the same place. Um, let's go back to the Autism Speaks website. Let's try to do a contact thing. Let's try to do a contact. Okay, that's not. Isn't it weird that they don't have a contact like on their first page? A contact us? Help and information? That would be a contact. Okay, so we're going to contact Art, and it's probably going to be. Oh. And see, they're not responding. They are not responding to their at all. They're not responding to anything. which I don't know what's going on. Pretty bizarre that they will not respond to anything. Fine. I have made my calls to Autism Speaks. They have not responded to me. And all you get is this. I'm going to go down this rabbit hole here. I'm going to donate $1 here. You can only give 5. No, a one-time gift. Let's see. I'm just seeing what they're doing. Yeah, until they want you to go credit card, essentially. Essentially, they want you to go credit card. So that's that. Okay. I'm trying to see if I got any emails today. And I'm going to go to the Autism Speaks website. Maybe it'll work better on my tablet. Okay. Here we go. Nope, not working any better on my tablet. Nothing showing up here. But yeah, it's interesting that all they have is give us money. There's not even a phone number on their first page. Unbelievable. No. Wow. No phone number. Nothing. No. Oh, contact us. I found one. I found a contact us. And it goes back to the same thing. Okay, I'm going to go down this rabbit hole real quick. Okay, it says, please share any information to help us with our needs. Okay, so needs. Okay, is it going to let me type? Oh, okay. It didn't give me a cursor so I could see. I don't know how to spell Eileen, so I'm going to make sure I get it spelled right so that I'm not a jerk any more than usual. Okay, Eileen Lamb, Autism Speaks. Okay, I know she's got a huge Facebook and stuff, so it's autistic. Whoops. I spelled Uline. Uline. That sounds like the Crunk, the like Scandinavian name or something. Ulina. Come here with Gertrude. Okay, ask me what the autistic community needs. Like to do a interview with them to voice so their voice is heard. um, and so yeah, I'm doing this off to the side because it's got my personal information on it, and it won't let me erase it. Okay, I'm not a robot. Oh man, now they're making me doing fucking motorcycle shit. Fuck, they're making me pick out squares. I fucking hate that shit. It pisses me the fuck off. God damn it. These things piss me the fuck off. There we go. Damn. So yeah, Autism Speaks, they sure are. Wait, I want to see what Eileen has to say here. This post is from Eileen Lamb. I am a mother of a Okay, first of all, check out this language. Most people in the autism community hate the term profound autism because what this does is this makes us a lesser autistic person than other people or even other autistic people because they are so profoundly autistic. You are either autistic or you are not autistic. It's like a beagle dog is a beagle dog. Or it's not. A cat is a cat or it's not a cat. You are autistic or you are not autistic. You are not almost pregnant. You are pregnant or you're not pregnant. It is our brain type. How our brain was formed when we were in our mother's womb, shortly after conception. That is what makes us autistic. Okay, so this is really sad. This is very, very much not language you would see in the autistic community. Now remember, Eileen is technically autistic, but she is not part of the autistic community in any way, shape, or form. She uses this kind of language, which shows you something right there. Also, Autism Speaks uses with autism. We're going to see how she writes this, and it's possible to be ableist and be disabled. It's possible to be a disabled ableist, and I'm not saying she is, but she is not part of the autism community, and it kind of makes her look that way when she doesn't know about things like this profound autism. See what I'm saying? She doesn't know that most of the autism community doesn't like that. Okay, Charlie has profound autism. Here we are again. Are severe and life-threatening. Has no sense of danger, which manifests in many ways, like running in front of cars. The most upsetting manifestation is called pica. I think that's a diet thing, where they eat like anything, which is kind of bad. Let's see this little story here.
Some milk, really.
Oh my word! Right on the counter, she's cool. She's letting him do that.
Go wash your hands.
Boy, do I... Ew. Ew! I just saw that. His butt's in that water, by the way. Now, I'm going to talk about this situation right here. Look at these tiles here. These tiles make a lot of noise, okay? Bathrooms generally make a lot of noise. This water is running. Too bad they added the sound there. But usually, okay, now she does have a mat here, but usually the floor is cold as hell. Now, she doesn't have any clothes or a towel here. I imagine she'll grab one. She's a good mom. Cold floors are definitely... I like to have a heater around, not close to where it can touch the water or anything else. But make sure that this bathroom is heated up first. So sorry about that, Tina. Okay, this is another thing I talk about with baths. I would never, ever, 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 ever recommend joining the bath with washing the face and head. Okay, that is an extreme sensory area, and the thing is even the Johnson's shampoo, like this is probably supposed to be not hurt their eyes. It freaking hurts the eyes. Okay, it sucks. And when the kid knows that they're going to experience the pain and all that face thing, and you're going to literally scrub. My mother used to get the washcloth and just scrub. Ugh! I'm sure that's how she was taught. And it freaking hurt. So I would have been much more likely to take a bath and not have problems with the bath if it wasn't cold, if it wasn't loud, if this water isn't super cold. And definitely if those weren't kind of put together into one thing, if we're going to wash our hair, then let's maybe wash our hair separate. Let's see that right on the... Okay, that one. There is no one way to be autistic, but thousands of parents across the United States experience daily life. And here she's using that profound autism. She's using that profound autism thing. Jude, I guess that's a girl. So maybe she has a daughter too.
My name is Eileen Lam. I'm a mother of 3 children.
Okay, she is French. I don't know if she has any kind of lisp or anything, and I can't tell through the accent. My sister is French, but her accent sounds very, very different. And now the way what do you call it? The cadence in which she is speaking sounds very French to me. So I think what may be mistaken is maybe possible stutter or speech impediment or whatever is probably the French.
Children. 2 of them are on the spectrum, and my youngest is almost a year old. One of them, Charlie, has level 3 autism, also known as profound autism.
No, it's not. It is not known as profound autism, Eileen. That is complete, utter BS. You show me in the DSM-5 TR that it is known, that it is called profound autism. No, it is we specifically went to this labeling system of support needs. 1, 2, and 3. The reason is so we weren't saying that this kid has profound autism or this kid's just an Aspie. He's not that autistic. It created a lot of problems, and this is just prolificating it. And she is an executive at Autism Speaks and doesn't know this.
I'm the director of social media and
Okay, so this must be where she does a lot of her shows and stuff. Okay, she's got a that looks like a Yeti to me. Some kind of Yeti. All 3 of mine, I've got 3 of them, and all of them broke at the very bottom where it connects. The connector sucks. So she's using a regular webcam. Let me see if this is the rest of the room what's behind her, but I think this may be where she makes a lot of...
Director of social media and influencer marketing at Autism Speaks.
I mean,
the reason I'm interested in this is the videos that she's put out. I don't know about this one. Let me look at this one. Okay, this is 1080p. Most of what she has put out is like 72 or 720. Which is really bad.
We're just trying to represent the spectrum as well as we can and to give a voice to everybody.
Now she's speaking as Autism Speaks. Autism Speaks. Okay, what did she say here? I'm gonna turn on captions here. By the way, they do not want to give a voice to everybody. They do not even mention the autistic community and that it might be a resource. They do not really address, except minimally, autistic adults at all. It's always come back to us, and it's always people who are sick with that disease with autism. It's people with autism, which autistic people don't like in general. We usually like to be called autistic or autistic people. That is identity first because we are autistic because of our brain. Um, so she's using person first language that's always person with autism. Now, when you say with autism, you can say um, with with Judaism, and when you read it that way, or with Hispanicism, or with Caucasianism, watch when you read their website with replace those words and see if it looks a little prejudiced to you.
We're just trying to represent the spectrum as well as we can and to give a voice to everybody.
That is a complete lie. That I'm just calling that out as a lie. If they did, they would give references to the autistic community, and they would give a voice to those people who do not like Autism Speaks. So that's not true. They don't want people who don't like Autism Speaks. I have called them and requested a live interview with them, and I have not received a call back. And I have called them on multiple lines, multiple times. And I have not received a call from them. They're afraid, I think, to do an interview with me.
He's gonna do anything that's gonna be bad for us, you know. Like, even though Jude is the younger brother, he's always acted like the big brother. I mean, he was diagnosed but level 1 like me.
Okay, so she called him level 1. Luckily, she didn't call him freaking Asperger's.
Try to say Twix.
So what level 1 is minimum support needs. I've been level 1, 2-ish most of my life. As a level 1, I was able to work as a corrections officer. I was a hospital corpsman in the Navy. I didn't know I was autistic. So that's very, very common. Now, with high support needs autistics, they're not going to be missed. They're not going to be missed probably from the time of 3. Because they just need that much more help.
Twix.
See, that's so cool.
You know,
Check out the brother. He's helping his brother. That is so cool. That is so awesome.
Charlie could. Jude would love to play with him because he loves interacting with people, playing with friends.
And I even caught a Pikachu and
He lined up all his little toys there.
without a head. That must be a pretty rare find.
But it's not possible.
Charlie can be really hard as a brother sometimes.
Oh my God!
Like,
oh
I
my
can't
God!
play
Wait!
with sometimes.
Okay, this is her home. She put this out. This is her home, okay? Look at all the puzzle pieces. Eileen should know that the autistic community hates the puzzle pieces because of Autism Speaks. And here in her personal home, she's just showing them.
Like, I can play with him and Billy, but something I can talk to. Something I can talk to.
Honestly, it's really hard every day to have to take care of Charlie. You know, he's wonderful and I love him. He has a lot of very severe.
And with her like $250,000 bonus, I'm sure she can afford someone to help her while she's at work, etc. So I'm sure. I know Autism Speaks is paying for their schooling, or their ABA, as far as I know. That's what she said supposedly. I haven't verified that. I haven't seen that yet. I do know Eileen said that they paid for one of her son's diagnoses, which is really odd because there's only $400,000 that is given to autistic people through Autism Speaks, despite the $38 million they receive. And since she is autistic and it's an autistic family, more than likely the funds that paid for her son's diagnosis and schooling are coming from that $400,000, going right back to an executive of Autism Speaks.
Here, challenging behaviors, some of which are life-threatening. The biggest one right now is Pica. She's a compulsive urge for Charlie to put non-edible objects in his mouth.
So they're talking about screws, nails, just anything that should not go in your body.
Spit it out. Spit it out.
Really.
And it's not super, super, super uncommon for doctors to have to go in and get metal things or whatever out of kids. So it's not cool.
Anything.
Oh,
And so just imagine, basically, they have to watch out for anything that's small enough to fit in his mouth. And it has to be put away. Or if he can break it off with his teeth, like a button or whatever, that could be an issue. So yeah, this is very huge. This is a huge challenge, definitely.
He can't help it, and he doesn't understand that it's dangerous.
Take that out of your mouth.
We realized around 18 months old that Charlie was different.
Okay, see, I said for sure by 3. Yeah, it was like 18 months old.
Autism Speaks funded the creation of the online MChat, which is an assessment that asks you 20 questions. Any score above 3 tells you that there is a risk for autism, and Charlie scored like 18.
Yeah, I was just laughing like, okay, I'm not a level 3 support needs person, but yeah, I probably would have scored really high on that. Obviously, she did too, because she's autistic. Now, we don't know about the daughter here, Jude, I think. We don't know about her yet, I don't think. But the 2 boys are, and mom is autistic.
Charlie wouldn't have been diagnosed that early if it wasn't for the MChat. We really wanted that
It's so funny. She still dresses so French.
autism diagnosis because ABA therapy, which is therapy.
See, I've said time and time again that she's in bed she's in the ABA crowd. There are 2 distinctive communities in the autism community. It's the ABA Autism Speaks autism mom crowd, which is basically your neurotypical mothers that have autistic children. There's that community that does not speak to the actually autistic community. And the reason is because the ABA therapy and so forth, this is supposed to be ABA's her accent, due to the, excuse me, okay, I totally lost my train of thought. They will not mention, ABA will not mention the autistic community, and whenever, because most of the autistic community, literally, I think it was like 60% of people that went through ABA reported PTSD and psychological issues from ABA. So what they do is that what they'll say at Autism Speaks, or if you have an ABA therapist, oh yeah, well there's some people that there's always a bad apple as far as therapists, and they're just complaining about those few people. No, it's the system, and that's why autistic people hate it.
For autistic children that teaches children.
It teaches it. Okay, what it is behavioral science, and it's to change behaviors. It's not. It doesn't care about the child and their sensory needs or anything else. This is to change behaviors. So we use the same techniques used in mind control and torture techniques for soldiers and so forth. The very same techniques to elicit new behaviors. Now, it doesn't help the autistic kid. It's not designed to. It's to make autistic kids, quote, function, look like, quote, normal people. That would be holistic people, people who are not autistic. That's what it teaches.
On the spectrum, skills like communication, self-care, that's only covered by insurance if you have an autism diagnosis.
And she said on another thing that her diagnosis and her schooling was paid for by Autism Speaks. So I'm sure she's got great insurance through Autism Speaks. I mean, considering she probably brings home, well, not quite $1 million, but pretty close. That's $1 million a year. Pretty close. I mean, it's definitely way up in the 6 digits. Definitely. Well over $500,000.
Charlie, which one do you cut with? Yeah, the scissors.
And this is tabletop training and stuff. And this, particularly for PDA autistics, this is extremely harmful. because all they're doing is sitting here doing demands. I remember this. They tried this bullshit when I was a kid, and all it did was piss me off that they were making me do stupid shit.
Yeah, that's your bedroom.
ABA is working on skills like self-care, and without ABA therapy, I mean, I don't know what we do, honestly.
And the thing is all these things is simple parenting. What, you can't teach your kid to brush their teeth? Really? And the way she is really mischaracterizing what ABA is. It's not about necessarily just brushing your teeth. Its statement is to make autistic people look like holistic people. And that is extremely harmful to autistic people to force them to mask. And that's exactly what's going on. And here he is literally masking.
Working on skills like self-care, and without ABA therapy, I mean, I don't know what we do, honestly. You know, they taught Charlie how to communicate using an iPad.
Like, you couldn't do that, Eileen? You've got to be a level 1 autistic. Come on. You cannot teach your kid. Okay.
I want more pretzels.
I am horrible on an iPad, and I guarantee you I could teach a kid how to use that.
Lunchbox.
That is a lunchbox.
Chicken. I want that chicken.
Oh, okay, I can give you that.
It's all play-based, and it's all tailored to his needs.
2, 3.
No, it's not, actually. It is not tailored to his needs. It's tailored to the behaviors that they want to elicit. That is the purpose of ABA. I don't know why she is doing this, and I'm very upset that she's completely mischaracterizing ABA here.
He loves it.
I have a series on ABA on my TikTok. An entire series about it.
To me, the most important thing was that people realize how broad the spectrum is, and, you know, caregivers are not saying this is hard because they're martyr. Like, this is real. And that self-advocacy is amazing if possible, but it's not always possible. So yeah, it's important to give autistic people a voice, but what do
I so love the way she says possible. It's just like my sister, and I can't say possible. That's not possible.
you do when
Because, okay, the French don't have syllables in their language, so everything kind of slurred.
autistic people don't have a voice of their own? You go to their...
Yes, autistic people do not have a voice of their own. Thank you, of our own. Thank you very much. And it's because of your organization, Eileen. Where is the autistic voice on your website? Let's look. Let's look. Where is that autistic voice on your website? Give us money. 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 And there's one, I don't know why it didn't pop up here. Usually the little bot pops up here. Give us money. About us. Okay, we're going to talk about us, a world where all people with autism, because it's a disease. Now, Eileen specifically says that Autism Speaks does not believe autism is a disease. However, throughout the entire site, it is always with autism as if it is a disease. And autistic people prefer to be called autistic or autistic people in general. In fact, the vast majority of autistic people. But they refuse to do that on this site. And where is the autistic voice? Where's autistic people? This is Autism Speaks. So now, and look how a world where all autistic people, this is third person, with autism can reach their full potential. Because evidently we can't reach our full potential. Autism Speaks is enhancing lives today. Accelerating spectrum, nothing about autistic people. Where is the autistic voice? Where? It's not on here. Questions and answers? Maybe. Okay, maybe we'll find autistic. Wholly focused on fostering a world in which all people with that horrible disease, autism, can reach their full potential. It's a vision that drives the work we do each day. Where's the autistic people? I want to know where the autistic people are that she just said.
Caregivers have a voice of their own. You go to their caregiver. So yeah, it's important to give autistic people a voice, but what do you do when autistic people don't have a voice of their own?
Well, you sure as fuck don't go to Autism Speaks, that's for sure. And you avoid Autism Speaks because they, as I shown, there is literally no autistic voice on their site. There is no way to get to an autistic voice on their site. How the hell do you do that? Huh? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. In fact, I'm going to make it, okay. We are going to make another video here. Watch this. This is Eileen Lamb from Autism Speaks. It's amazing. Folks, this is Eileen Lamb from Autism Speaks, and what she says here is absolutely unbelievable. Check it out.
And that self-advocacy is amazing if possible, but it's not always possible. So yeah, it's important to give autistic people a voice, but what do you do when autistic people don't have a voice? deep dive into the lives of everyone who has a
Okay.
connection to autism. Autistic individuals, parents, caregiver, you name it. We want to hear all about what makes autistic people who they are.
Oh my God. Here we go.
Into the lives of everyone who
I've
has
got
a...
to do this all over.
Welcome to the first ever episode of Just Another Autism podcast. In this podcast, we take a deep dive into the lives of everyone who has a connection to autism.
Everyone who has a connection to, my cousin, Orville, he lives across the country, but he has autism. Let me tell you all about it. One time I watched him and he was eating Fritos. Can you believe that? I don't even like them Fritos.
Autistic individual.
Okay, so I am going to go on here right now. Okay. I'm going to go on to my account. I have to go on to my personal account. Okay, where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay. I've got to go on my personal account on into YouTube, and I'm going to put a note. I'll show you the note when it pops up here. This way she can actually get a hold of me. God. So I've got, let's see, 5 screens right now. One's down, so I've only got 4. So I designed my computer and all this just for what I'm doing. I just haven't gotten into it yet. And how is it that I got it on this one? That is so weird. Because this is recent. Oh, where did it go? Okay, here it is. Okay, so I just got to scroll down. There it is. Okay, I'm going to comment on this real quick and let her know. You'll see the comment pop up here. Okay, so I'm saying, she said that there were some misunderstandings. So I'm saying I would like to clear up any quote misunderstandings. Maybe I shouldn't do quotes. I'll just say misunderstandings. Misunderstandings as you Okay. Okay, so I think I said thank you for your time and consideration. So, comment. Okay, now this is interesting too. I want to go to this.
Welcome to the first...
Now, I have commented on this quite a bit. Oh, okay, it's not showing up yet. It will show up after a while. It might take the algorithm a bit.
Welcome to the first ever episode.
It's not showing it. I know I put it in. It'll take it a minute. That's weird that it isn't picking it up. Um, Usually Autism Speaks. Oh, this is Keith Wargo. This is the guy that sent me the email. Oh my goodness. This is the guy who sent me the email about Autism Speaks, who wanted to talk to me. This is who this is. But usually they have the comments turned off, and usually cults or organizations that are to be questions usually have them turned off. Here she has them turned on, which I commend them.
Of Just Another Autism Podcast.
I hope they didn't erase my comment already. Maybe it just it hasn't gotten there yet. YouTube, hasn't processed it yet.
In this podcast, we take a deep dive into the lives of everyone who has a connection to autism. Autistic individuals, parents, caregiver, you name it. We want to hear all about what makes autistic people who they are.
Isn't that crazy? It's a Autism Speaks, but they don't know. And this was the issue I had with Keith here, who's going to pop up here on the screen. He sent me an email asking me what the autistic community needed. He is the CEO and president of Autism Speaks and doesn't know. She didn't know either. And she's autistic.
And today, I am so...
She sent me an email basically saying, hey, did you get his email? You didn't respond to it. And I did respond to it on TikTok, which is how I came to their attention. So they're watching my TikTok. It's popped up for sure. Or people have brought it to their attention.
Happy to be joined by Keith Wargo, who is the CEO of Autism Speaks.
Okay, because she is French, I don't know if she has a speech impediment or stutters. I stutter. I think this is mostly her French accent. My sister is French, so that's the problem here. But this is Keith Wargo. He is the CEO and president
also
of Autism Speaks.
The father of a son on the autism spectrum.
Yes, he told me in that email, because he mentioned my son Cade specifically, who committed suicide in October. He said that his son was autistic. Now, Eileen here, she is autistic, and her two sons. Now, I call her token because out of the 216 people that I saw that work at Autism Speaks, she's the only one that I know of that works at Autism Speaks. Okay? So if you were to get a random sample of people anywhere in the world, anywhere, of 100 people walking out of a restaurant, a store, a stadium, whatever, more than likely, if you get 200 people, you're going to have 2 autistic people. Actually 3, because it's 216, a little bit over 200. As if we only represent 1%. So Autism Speaks has less autistic people in their organization than you would by random chance in a random sample of people at Walmart. They have less autistic people at Autism Speak than at, like I said, at a particular at a Walmart where you get 200 people. Isn't that crazy?
Welcome, Keith.
Thanks, Eileen. Good to be with you.
So for people who don't know you, can you tell us...
Oh, by the way, I have called Autism Speaks all day now. I called them yesterday and left messages on every number. I left it on their website. I'm leaving it here because I want to interview them live on TV, on live stream. The reason is I don't like going back and forth in emails because of communication barriers and so forth, and things can get twisted and so forth. So I like to be on top of it so that I can make corrections and make sure that everybody is clear on what everybody is thinking. And so emails just don't work for me. And I also didn't want them to somehow use that email against me.
A little bit about yourself, maybe, and a little bit about your son, AJ, who's on the autism spectrum?
Sure. So I've been with Autism Speaks for almost 2.5 years now. I spent 30 years.
Oh, by the way, he gets a it's a $600,000 bonus. Something like $600,000 bonus. Or is that his base pay? I know his expense account itself was $400,000, over $400,000. This guy is bringing in well over $1 million from Autism Speaks with all the benefits and everything that they get, all the kickbacks. and only $400,000 goes to autistic people. She is one of those autistic people. Only $400,000 goes to, less than 1% goes to, according to the ASAN. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, I need to just continue.
In the corporate sector, specifically in financial services.
Okay. I was talking about the finances. She said that her son was diagnosed by Autism Speaks, and she said, and I've heard, I don't know that she has said that they are paying for, the Autism Speaks is paying for their specialized schooling, their like autism school or whatever it is. I don't know. The thing is I bet you it comes out of that $400,000 because she is an actually autistic person. Therefore, she would be qualified as an autistic family. So there we're getting kickbacks to a CEO from the small $400,000 that actually goes to actually autistic people. A bit of that is probably kickbacks going to the executive staff. $38 million basically was what they netted there last year. That was their net.
With my family and I, we live in New Jersey. AJ, my son, is 25. He's autistic. He was diagnosed at 3, right around the...
My son was 22 in October when he took his life. Now, there are a lot of reasons he took his life. I will say this, though, and this is why I am really on Autism Speaks right now. With the way that Autism Speaks, still to this day, portrays autistic people, is very, very negative. Now, we didn't know he was autistic until soon before he committed suicide, and that didn't have anything to do with it specifically. But he would not get mental health. And it was because of the stigma. And I guarantee you he wouldn't have wanted to be diagnosed autistic and that whole deal. He didn't want that rap either. And it's because of the stigma that Autism Speaks produces, making commercials like this I Am Autism. And by the way, I'm just waiting by my phone for Autism Speaks to call me. I don't think they are. They've got my personal phone number. I'm sorry about this. We're going to go briefly look at this. Autism Speaks, I Am Autism. So this is...
But if I can help it, I am invisible to you until it's too late. I know where you live. And guess what? I live there too. I hover around all of you. I know no color barrier, no religion, no morality, no currency. I speak your language fluently, and with every voice I take away, I acquire yet another language. I work very quickly. I work faster than pediatric AIDS, cancer, and diabetes combined. And if you...
Okay, so that's how Autism Speaks itself. This is their commercial. This is how they have traditionally portrayed autistic people. Okay, now that was done in 2009. I know it's very grainy and looks like a 6mm thing from 1970 or in the 70s, but the thing is that's done on purpose to stigmatize autistic people. Autism Speaks' purpose when they first started out was to eliminate autistic people, was to cure autism so that no autistic people could ever live, that they would be cured in the womb. Which, by definition, if you wanted to get rid of all Hispanic people, all Jewish people, all people with cerebral palsy, all people with autism, that's genocide. They were actively promoting genocide. That's what their purpose was to eliminate autism, was to cure it completely so that no one ever had it again. Now, that sounds great, but they are eliminating a neurotype. I like being me. I don't want to be not autistic, as terrible as my life can be. I want to be me, and they didn't want that.
Right around his 3rd birthday, he was born in San Francisco, but we moved to New Jersey, and he was diagnosed shortly thereafter. He's doing really well. He recently moved out on his own.
Say hello in chat.
Part-time job, and everything's going really well.
What made you want to work at Autism Speaks? Like, why are you so passionate about the work we do here?
Well, the journey of this organization, in fact, kind of the journey
has been very, very rickety, and shameful.
This community, there's a lot in common with our family's journey. Right? AJ was diagnosed a little over 20 years ago. When autism.
So his son was diagnosed. Let's see, he said he was 23, so like 3 years old.
Autism was considered to be rare when there was little known about autism. I often say at the time that when we started talking to family and friends, etc., nobody ever even heard of the word autism. And Ann and I struggled hard to find the right to find any resources or information. It was
and try to find resources on their site. Just saying, as an autistic person, if you really truly need resources, I dare you, I beg you, to go to their site and see how you can get assistance.
Really just digging in and working hard.
I only know of one person who has said that an autistic person that has helped them. And that person's credibility, unfortunately, is very skewed, but I do believe her in that respect. Autism Speaks probably did help her. But if it helps one person and disenfranchises millions upon millions and stigmatizes mental health, stigmatizes being autistic, then you have kids like my son who commit suicide, blow their damn brains out, because he didn't get mental health. He was too stigmatized. And Autism Speaks is the problem here. That's all there is to it. I'm having to look at which camera to look at. I've got I got a bunch of cameras. I've got like 5 cameras. I as soon as I can get the income, I will start doing real streams on multi-platforms and so forth. But
hard to find what we as a family needed and what we needed for our son. And we've come a long way since then. And what I realized, I had finished my career at Wall Street. I'd retired in the middle of COVID. It had been a great run, and it was time to step aside. And what I realized was where we are today and where I think the organization...
He retired, so he decided to work for an organization where he's bringing in well over $1 million a year. I wish I could do that.
Community needs to go fit well in...
And you remember, he's bringing in well over $1 million a year, yet autistic people only get 400,000. Autistic families. 400,000. 38 or 39 million is what they brought in last year. 39 million. It kind of depends on how you look at the numbers. That was the net, I believe.
Number one, my personal journey, but secondly, what I'd done as a businessman, which was to take businesses from a certain point and kind of lead them forward to the future. So it dovetailed really well with where I was in my life and where I felt like the community and the organization needed to go.
And when you started working at Autism Speaks, were you aware of the controversies and misinformation and disinformation surrounding the organization?
Yeah.
Okay, this is going to be interesting. This is really
interesting. I'd say I became aware as I dug in and did my due diligence around the organization. I think I became more aware. I was not, it was not front of mind, but I certainly became aware from doing that diligence and reading up, etc. Sure, absolutely.
Was that scary for you?
Ouch, 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 ouch. Keith Wargo just said he knew what a bad reputation that Autism Speaks has because he studied it before he started working for them. That's what he just said.
I felt like the community and the organization.
Am I wrong here?
And when you started working at Autism Speaks, were you aware of the controversies and misinformation and disinformation surrounding the organization?
Yeah, I'd say I became aware as I dug in and did my due diligence around the organization. I think I became more aware. I was not, it was not front of mind, but I certainly became aware.
So he knew what he was getting into, is what he's saying.
From doing that diligence and reading up, etc. Sure.
He called it diligence. He diligently researched Autism Speaks, found out all the problems with Autism Speaks, and decided to go work for him anyway and continue their legacy of hate towards autistic people. Evidently.
Absolutely.
Was that scary for you as a business person to come into an organization with controversy?
No, Eileen. He said he was retired. It doesn't matter to him.
No, I don't think so. I mean, throughout my career, throughout my life, right, I've always had to look at things and say, geez, there's a tough situation, there's a tough set of circumstances, and approach it in the context of, do you want to be part of making the change, or do you want to let things sit as they are, or, frankly, avoid them? The interesting thing is, like, if I make a comparison to financial services, what I did was advise clients at times when, oftentimes it was exciting times. The company was going public, or they were raising money because things were going great. There was a fair share of that, but there was also companies that brought you in at times where they were in a crisis. They had difficult times, and so I had learned that and been able to advise and work with companies and CEOs, et cetera, on those types of situations. So no, I've never been one to kind of shy away from challenges. It's kind of
so I have he sent me an email because my son committed suicide at last October. He was 23. He blew his brains out. He sent me an email directly because I was speaking out against Autism Speaks, and he mentioned my son, mentioned his son, and asked me what the autism community needed. And I did not return the email. Rather, I answered on TikTok, and you can see those answers on TikTok. And I have continued to answer on TikTok. And yesterday and today, I have done everything I can. I have called every number. I probably sent at least a dozen messages and gone online trying to get a hold of Keith because he wanted to talk to me and ask me. So I have invited him and Elaine to do a live stream to quote. She's talking about these misconceptions here. So let's go back to where she's talking about these misconceptions here.
To go fit well in, number one, my personal journey, but second, I became aware as I'd say the community businessman, where we are today and where I think the organization, the community.
Here we go.
Addressing some of the missteps from the past, even though you were not CEO at the time, some of these
companies and CEOs, et cetera.
Okay, so here we go.
On those types of situations. So no, I've never been one to kind of shy away from challenges. It's kind of
he's talking like Trump.
What I enjoy, what gives me passion and energy.
And actually, last year during World Autism Month, you wrote a letter addressing some of the missteps from the past, even though you were not CEO at the time. Some of these missteps happened. What made you?
Okay, missteps. Genocide is not a misstep. If I say I want to get rid of all Caucasian people because they're diseased, because they have Caucasianism, and I want to cure them in vitro so they are never born, that is, by definition, genocide. By definition. And you've got to understand, there are a lot of autistic people that do not want to be cured. We are a brain type. We are a type of human being that do not wish to be eliminated. Thank you, Eileen. Hey, wait, why does this get muted?
Well, I thought it was critical.
You wrote a letter addressing some of the missteps from the past, even though you were not CEO at the time. Some of these missteps happened.
I cannot believe she has the audacity to characterize this as missteps.
You want to go public with this statement. Why is it important to you?
Well, I thought it was critical.
I sure would. If anybody knows how to find that public statement he made last year, I would love to find it.
Well, firstly, this organization and this community has evolved tremendously over the last 20 plus years, right? Again, my own family being a perfect story of that, right? Well, like I said, 20 years ago, nobody who we knew anybody who was autistic. Nobody knew a family member, a neighbor.
Now I gotta give Autism Speaks credit here because it's flatly true. The whole autism awareness thing that we have is probably from Autism Speaks because they had millions and millions of dollars from the owner of Home Depot, 35 million they started with. And we probably would not have, quote, autism awareness as we know it if it was not for Autism Speaks. However, that does not justify their abuse and wanting genocide among autistic people. Now, they say that that is not what they want now. That's fine. But when your starting point is genocide, there is no damn recovering from that. That wasn't a bad decision one time. That wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a misstep, Eileen.
Neighbor, anybody. In fact, pretty much nobody who I knew had ever even heard of the term, the word autism. And so that's not where we are today. We've evolved as a society. We've evolved as...
Just real quick because...
Welcome to the first ever episode of Just Another Autism podcast. In this podcast, we take a deep dive into the lives of everyone who has a connection to autism.
I made a comment in here and it is not showing up there.
Welcome to the first ever episode.
So interesting.
Antiquated information. It makes it harder. In some cases, it makes it harder for families or individuals to get the information that they need. In the worst case scenario, they don't get the services and information that they're looking for. Period. And I think it's incredibly destructive.
That is so weird.
And I think we need to keep battling it.
Okay, the comment is showing on my personal, what do you call it? Page.
Welcome to the first ever episode of Just
like a random
those missteps.
Yeah, misstep. She's still on misstep. It's showing up on my account, but this is like a blank random account I use so I don't put my personal information out there. And it's not showing up.
But there is also a lot of misinformation and disinformation on social media, and these things are just not true. And I think it's really important that people know the facts. And it's difficult.
So I have invited her specifically to do a interview with me live so that we can clarify said facts. And of course, I'll have my computer there or whatever, and we can just fact check or address things as we go.
To put the right information out there. So what would you like to say to people?
So far, when she has been talking about the misinformation, she said, oh, well, people think that we did the puzzle piece because we think that autistic people are broken. No, it originated because we were a puzzle to be solved. That was the original thing. So what she does is she takes a complaint or whatever, rephrases it, reframes it, and then answers that. What she wants to, not what actually autistic people are complaining about. She sure as shit has never mentioned the finances and how their executive staff makes millions and millions of dollars. Millions! At least two. And actually autistic people only get $400,000, of which she probably gets some because she's not actually an autistic person, and she said they paid for her son's diagnosis, and she also, as I understand it, I don't know that this is true, said that Autism Speaks is paying for her school. Where's that fund coming from? Well, to the actually autistic people. That $400,000, more than likely. So, more than likely, a lot of that money, at least a little bit, is going straight back to the executive staff of Autism Speaks. That's how they operate.
can we get them to listen to facts over social media misinformation and disinformation?
I mean, this is probably the thing that I most...
And as far as disinformation is concerned, I go directly to the Autism Speaks website. So if I'm spreading any disinformation, I am going there. The facts are right there. So I don't know. And I'm also going to, what is that, charity... oh, boy. This is a Nonprofit Explorer, but that's not the big one. The real big one is OpenSecrets.com, where we talk about the lobbying money, this $134,000 and this $370,000. 132,000 of which is donated in Autism Speaks name, goes to the National Republican Congressional Committee to get Republicans voted into the House of Representatives. That's where this money is going. That's donated by the families, individuals, people like Eileen and Keith Wargo. It says it right here. Rather, the money came from the organization's individual members, employees, or owners, and those individuals' immediate family members. Now, remember, there's only 216 people that work at Autism Speaks, and we've got, well, 500,000 here. $500,000 that the people extremely close to the executives of Autism Speaks are donating in the name of Autism Speaks. And this in corporate world, this means kickbacks. It means they eventually get kickbacks. That's what that's about.
People don't have a voice of their own. You go to their caregivers.
Oh shit, did I lose my... Uh-oh. I totally...
Welcome to the first ever episode
of having discussions. But there has to be, if you want to make progress, there has to be a point where you sort of say, okay, I'll appreciate and respect your perspective, and I want to move forward. But if you don't have the I want to move forward part, then you're not going to get anywhere. And I'm afraid that we're not focused enough on that, and that gets lost. And I think that that's a real big problem.
Next year is autism.
So basically, he's kind of blaming the autistic community there. That's what that sounds like. This is very weird.
We'll just keep talking amongst one another and saying what's wrong about things. The line is,
I'm sorry.
If what we're focused on is infighting and picking apart language and focusing on things that are not going to...
See, he is trying to make this about language, about person first. You're like, oh, yes, all these autistic people complaining about person first language, and we've got much bigger things to deal with. Yeah, $39 million that does not go to autistic people. That's what we care about, Keith.
To help anybody.
$39 million.
Then we're just we're going to be stuck in a place of we're stuck in a box. We'll just keep talking amongst one another and saying what's wrong about things rather than collectively saying, I may not agree with you on 100% of things, but I do agree with you on these three things, and I'd rather focus on those 2 or 3 things than focus on what I don't agree with you or the language that you...
It's not person first speech that is our big problem. It's that $39 million that you take in supposedly going towards autistic people that never ever gets to autistic people or helps autistic people. Instead, you donate to science for genetics and so forth for early detection, which goes right back to your eugenics that you started out with 20 years ago.
Use. Again, I'm not saying the language isn't important. I think it is.
It is important, yet you refuse to use the language that most autistic people use on your website. It's always treated as a disease, people with autism. Always.
I'm not saying that disagreements aren't important. They're critical. This whole country is.
This is not about little disagreements. This is about you purposely, basically taking funds that are meant to help autistic people, and you've got $1 million salary, yet autistic people only get $400,000 out of that $39 million. $39 million. $96 million if you want to look at other like the gross and what their assets are worth and everything else. But that's not a year. But yeah, they make a lot of money. That's what we're worried about. And the fact that you still, to this day, do not represent, there's no representation of autistic people on your website. You do not mention the autistic community. You never qualify an autistic person as knowing anything about autism, except for Elaine qualifies herself because she's an executive at Autism Speaks. You never qualify an autistic person knowing anything about autism. Not on your website. It's all about we, Autism Speaks, are going to help them, those autistic people. Once again, if you take, there's 216 people that work at Autism Speaks, as I understand it. If you took a random sample of people at Walmart and you took 200 people, you're liable to get 2 autistic people. There is only one autistic person that I know of that works at Autism Speaks, and that is Eileen Lamb. The token autistic person. So statistically, you are more likely to find more autistic people in a random crowd of people than you do at Autism Speaks. Think about that. A random group of people, you will find more autistic people than work at an organization called Autism Speaks that is supposed to be for autistic people. $39 million that autistic people don't get. That's what the problem
is focused on disagreement and discord of having discussions. But there has to be, if you want to make progress, there has to be a point where you sort of say, okay, I'll appreciate and respect your perspective.
But you're not. You are not appreciating or respecting the perspectives of autistic people, the autistic community. Yes, you can find a handful of people here and there or whatever that are going to join you that have been brainwashed and so forth in the cult, which we'll get into. I have been talking about, and you can look on my TikTok. I have an entire series about the bite cult model and how Autism Speaks and ABA fit into the bite cult model.
And I want to move forward. But if you don't have the I want to move forward part, then you're not going to get anywhere. And I'm afraid that we're not focused enough on that.
This is, okay, how the hell do we move forward from genocide? Well, we used to want genocide, but we're okay now. You do not recover from genocide. Ever. And that was not a mistake. It was not an oopsie. That's freaking genocide.
And that gets lost. And I think that's a real big problem.
Next year is Autism Speaks 20th anniversary.
Yeah, hard to believe.
Really hard to believe. Do you have any plan for that, and what's your vision?
Well, I definitely have some plans for that. I'm going to be doing exactly what I'm doing now, and hopefully there will be a lot more people helping me.
For the future, where do you see the organization in 20 more years from now?
So I'll say the 2 words that I'm going to be using at our gala on World Autism Day are celebrate and honor. And it's a little bit of, candidly, me kicking off the 20th anniversary because I think we have a lot to
celebrate and honor Autism Speaks. Not autistic people. To celebrate and honor Autism Speaks. See how narcissistic this is? It always goes back to Autism Speaks. It always goes back to that money.
Celebrate and honor. And that evening we'll be celebrating and honoring a number of individuals.
Oh, okay. We're going to, okay.
And a number of institutions.
And I guarantee you those individuals will not be from the autistic community. Guarantee you. They will be people that the autistic community does not like at all. Guarantee you. It's going to be from the ABA Autism Speaks cult group. Guarantee you.
done a tremendous
I would like
amount
to
for
see
the
that. Maybe
community.
they'll hopefully they actually put the video of this up on their Autism Speaks YouTube channel, which is where I am right now.
So that'd be number one, but I think the bigger point is that continued evolution, right? We recognize today that there's around 5.4 million adults with autism.
With autism, with that disease, autism. See, Eileen says that they don't consider it a disease, yet they will only address it as if it is a disease. With autism, I was born autistic. My brain formed, the way it grew, is autistic. It is a brain type. It is not a disease. And what you infer, no matter what, with autism is that it is a disease. And he damn well knows that. Yet he continues, no matter what the autistic community says, he continues to say with autism. Now let's see how much more ableist he gets.
And that 100,000 plus autistic individuals are aging out of school services every single year.
That's 18 years old.
That is a huge underserved population. We're going to continue to focus on what we always have as it relates to children, early diagnosis, early intervention. We'll continue that focus for sure. We'll make it better.
$39 million disappeared, and only $400,000 went to autistic people. That is not a very fucking good focus, Keith. That is a sucky ass focus. That is reprehensible.
We'll continue to evolve,
and not to mention your $1 million some odd amount of plus $1 million that you get from Autism Speaks a year. About a year, $400,000. Your expense account is as much, almost identical, as to what you give to autistic people, Keith. Your expense account, $400,000, is almost identical out of that $39 million. $400,000 is what goes to autistic people. That's what the problem is. That's what your focus needs to be. This is Keith Wargo, W-A-R-G-O, the CEO of Autism Speaks, who emailed me personally because my son committed suicide in October. He was autistic. And asked me what the autistic community needed, and I refused to answer via email, but I did answer publicly via TikTok. I have now invited Keith Wargo and the lady here, Eileen Lamb, to do interviews. She mentions over and over and over about misconceptions of Autism Speaks. I think we should sit down and have a conversation. And we should address those misconceptions and directly address in a live stream these issues so that we know what is out in the open. We know positively what has been said, not little closed room conversations or private emails.
As technologies evolve, etc. But it's the adult part of the world and quality of life around adults. And increasingly, we have adults coming to us looking for that assistance, looking for help. Today, it's interesting. Like today, I think you might know this, but
and I challenge you. I challenge you. Just say you want school help with college or help with freaking rent or help. I need help with Social Security. Any type of help that an adult might need. I challenge you. Go to their website. Go to their website. See where that $39 million, see how successful they have implemented that $39 million that disappears every year.
Our most accessed resource is a resource we put out just this year about getting a diagnosis as an adult. That's more access than the pieces that we have around.
So I don't know what he's talking about here. I know they have a lot of third-party things. Now, they have like a Google on their own site, a search engine that sucks bad. And by that, And in some places they refer to articles that other people have written and so forth. Now this is the trick here. This is what I love about corporate. See, my father was he was a Texas oil man, and I saw corporate life. But this is how they frame this stuff.
Early diagnosis for children, early intervention for children, and that's just that to me puts a bright spotlight on the fact that that's where we need to go, right? That's more access than the pieces
okay,
that we have around early diagnosis for children.
And so anyway, with these websites that they will refer to websites and so forth that aren't theirs, and then they will like give you an address and phone number, like the '90s Google when you were trying to find a business. It'd just be an address and a phone number. Now this is the key. This is why this is so important. With that, it does not matter. I saw a site where they said they answered like 776,000 responses they gave or whatever. And the thing is all you have to do is say go to our website. It does not matter if a person gets help or not. You can show that you helped refer that person to services. See? Because you told them where to go to our site. And then you go to the stupid work engine, that their little search engine that doesn't really do anything. You would do better on Google, is my point, than going to Autism Speaks. By far. On anything. In fact, I challenge you. In fact, I'm going to make a TikTok about this right now. I'm going to make a challenge here. Welcome to the Autism Speaks Challenge. Autism Speaks said that they have resources which are often third party or just addresses and phone numbers and so forth on a very bad search engine. But they say that they have all kinds of references. Autism Speaks says they have all kinds of references for adults. Now, I challenge you. This is the Autism Speaks Challenge. As an adult, go to the website and try to get some help on something. Just go through their hoops and ladders. Or just go to Google and Google the same crap and see what happens. I guarantee you're going to do way better on Google. The thing is by having this little fake search engine thing, this trashy search engine on Autism Speaks, when they can say that they referred autistic people to resources because they have that shitty thing that doesn't work or doesn't do much. And so that's how they can qualify themselves as helping autistic people. But I challenge you, Google it and go on the site for Autism Speaks and see what happens. Let me know right here in the comments what happened. I am also live right now on YouTube. I will be live on YouTube because I've been banned for a little bit for lives because I was talking about Autism Speaks. And so I was banned for bad language. For hate speech because I was talking about Autism Speaks. So let me know in the comments. Take this challenge, the Autism Speaks Challenge. Google or Autism Speaks. Where do you get more help? Autism Speaks says they have all kinds of references for adults. Now, I challenge you. This is the Autism Speaks Challenge. As an adult, go to the website and try to get some help on something. Just go through their hoops and ladders. Or just go to Google and Google the same crap and see what happens. I guarantee you're going to do way better on Google. The thing is by having this little fake search engine thing, this trashy search engine on Autism Speaks, when they can say that they referred autistic people to resources because they have that shitty thing that doesn't work or doesn't do much. And so that's how they can qualify themselves as helping autistic people. But I challenge you, Google it and go on the site for Autism Speaks and see what happens. Let me know right here in the comments what happened. I am also live right now on YouTube. I will be live on YouTube because I've been banned for a little bit for lives because I was talking about Autism Speaks. And so I was banned for bad language. Or hate speech because I was talking about Autism Speaks. So let me know in the comments. Take this challenge, the Autism Speaks Challenge. Google or okay, I'm still like, oh my god, I am getting so freaking. Pink, are you here? Are you here, Pink? Okay, I ended up losing people because I had
intervention
to
for
do
children,
this little thing
and that's
here.
just that
So
that
let's
to
take a look.
me
This is Keith
puts a
Wargo.
bright spotlight on the fact that
This is Keith Wargo, the CEO of Autism Speaks, basically trying to defend Autism Speaks, is what this is.
about getting a diagnosis as an adult. That's more access than the pieces that we have around early diagnosis for children, early intervention for children, and that's just that to me puts a bright spotlight on the fact that that's where we need to go.
Okay.
Go.
Right?
I gotta that.
I have a person from the UK that is in St. Mary's. I think St. Mary's University. Anyway, this person wants to do an interview with me, and I'm looking at their email right now. We're going to be, of course, talking about Autism Speaks and so forth.
That quality of life, whether that's employment, whether that's post-secondary education, whether that's housing,
Okay, cool.
whether that's medical care, and the tie into aging. We all age. I'm aging, and our medical needs and our physical needs change. And then we have to continue to really look hard at those questions so that we are addressing the broad needs of the community. And at the same time, we talk about employment a lot. I think it's also important to remember that employment is not for everybody, but that everybody is entitled to the dignity and the importance of quality of life, and understanding what are the aspects of that quality of life and how we can help bring information and resources forward, and help hold up and amplify the work of organizations that are doing that hard work every single day. I see that to be our future as we continue to think about the lifespan, as we continue to think about a community that is growing and has
Oh my
diverse.
God! You know what though?
And
I really like this dude's voice. I really do. He's got a very calming, nice voice.
than the
This is the
pieces that we
CEO,
have around.
Keith Wargo, talking about Autism Speaks and its future, where the direction they want it to go in. Now let's see how much they mention really targeting autistic people's needs and bringing autistic people into Autism Speaks so that it is run by autistic people. Let's see if that is where he's going to go. Right? Let's see. This is the CEO. Let's see. He's talking about the future of Autism Speaks. Let's see if it's really super inclusive. Like we want as many autistic people in Autism Speaks as possible. We want to be involved in the community. Let's see what happens.
Early diagnosis for children, early intervention for children, and that's just that to me puts a bright spotlight on the fact that that's where we need to go. Right? That quality of life, whether that's employment, whether that's post-secondary education, whether that's housing.
And that all is great lip service, but you're given $39 million a year. $39 million a year, and only $400,000 of that goes to actually autistic people. And there's a bunch that goes to genetic research, which is something that most autistic people are against. So you better do a little bit better there, buddy.
Whether that's medical care and the tie into aging. We all age. I'm aging, and our medical needs and our physical needs change. And then we have to continue to really look hard at those questions so that we are addressing the broad needs of the community. Yep. And at the same time, we talk about employment a lot. I think it's also important to remember that employment is not for everybody, but that everybody is entitled to the dignity and the importance of equality of.
So we're going to employ. We got 200 employees. 216 employees. So we, as a policy, every other employee is going to be an autistic person to ensure that we get that quality and dignity.
Life, and understanding what are the aspects of that quality of life.
And understanding and quality of life.
And how we can help bring information and resources forward, and help hold up and amplify the work of organizations that are doing that hard work every single day.
Wait a minute. I thought we were talking about being inclusive and bringing the autistic community into Autism Speaks so that they know what's going on. Instead of having Token, your one executive staff member that makes about $1 million a year in total with all the bonuses and whatever. Well over, definitely over $500,000. That's just their media person. He brings home well over $1 million in total. His expense account. I'm gonna make another one. So Keith Wargo from Autism Speaks, the president and CEO. So Keith Wargo, the president and CEO of Autism Speaks, makes almost exactly the same amount. Keith Wargo, the president and CEO of Autism Speaks expense account is more than $400,000. The amount of money earmarked to go to actually autistic people each year is about $400,000. So literally, the CEO's expense account is almost equivalent to what they actually give actually autistic people. This is David Page. Screw them, flap harder. The president and CEO of Autism Speaks last year got a little over $400,000 in expenses. That's what his expenses that he was reimbursed for. I guess reimbursed. So he got $400,000 for expenses. The totality of everything that was earmarked for autistic families was about $400,000. So the CEO's expense account is almost equivalent to the total of what actually autistic people get. I'm live on YouTube right now. I have asked Keith Wargo and Elaine Lamb of Autism Speaks for an interview. I have not gotten a call yet. I'm going to be talking about Autism Speaks all day here on YouTube. This is David Page. Screw them, flap harder. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, I'm going to let this roll a little bit.
I see that to be our future as we continue to think about the lifespan, as we continue to think about a community that is growing and has, diverse and shifting needs. That's where I see us going.
You said something that really stuck with me. You talked about how our most downloaded resources is the adult guide. And one criticism we receive a lot on social media is that Autism Speaks only cares about children. And it shows again how there is so much.
Yes, that is very, very common. That is very, very common. And if you look at their site, it's actually not focused on children. Okay. If you look at the site, Autism Speaks cares about Autism Speaks. If you look at the totality of that site, Autism Speaks cares about Autism Speaks. Secondarily, they mention autistic children, and there is hardly any mention of autistic adults. And that is current right now on their site. You can go to it and see.
How our most downloaded resources is the adult guide. And one criticism we receive a lot on social media is that Autism Speaks only cares about children. And it shows again how there is so much misinformation out there. And I'm wondering...
It's your website, Eileen. Look at your damn website. Misinformation, if that's misinformation, that is misinformation you are putting on your own damn website, Eileen. Look at your website. Look at the language on your website. Look who it is focused on. Autism Speaks. And then parents and families. And then maybe autistic children. And very lastly, autistic adults. And you never ever qualify autistic adults as knowing anything about autism. You never mention the autistic community. You never make references to the autism community. You give no links to the autism community. Instead, you do your own thing.
Wondering if you want to talk a little bit about the things that Autism Speaks is doing for the autistic and autism community, like, our grants and the WIN program, all of that.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of the grants and so forth, from what I saw, and we can go on Charity Monitor here. I think I've already got it. Where is Charity Monitor? I'm going to go down this rabbit hole real quick. Okay, nope, that's the Better Business Bureau, a whole different thing. Okay, Open Secret.
A little bit about the things that Autism Speaks is doing for the...
I hope... Okay, so recipients. This is lobbying money. This is lobbying money that's dedicated in the name of Autism Speaks by people, family members, and so forth that are extreme, like of the CEO and so forth. This is where they have their quote family members give thousands of dollars to politicians or whatever in the name of Autism Speaks. Of course, the way it works officially, they don't get compensated. Do they get compensated? You're damn right they do. This is a common corporate thing. Very common corporate thing. And I'm trying. Yeah, the National... Is that count as a grant? The National Republican Committee, News Congressional Committees? Autism Speaks gives to the House Intelligence Committee. That has to do with autism? The House Intelligence Committee. I'm trying to find their financials. I thought I had it bookmarked. Nonprofit Explorer, maybe that's it. Okay, yeah. Okay, now in this, if you go into Nonprofit Explorer, okay, here's revenue, 36 million. It's funny how they show this, liabilities, but this is their tax filing, and if you look here, under it gives you even more, and you can look at all the grants and so forth, and I can't remember which schedule it is, which form. It's in here where they show the grants, and a lot of these grants are going to science crap, to universities for science, studying genetics and so forth. I don't know what this grant making is, sure. Total expenditures for investments in the region. I don't know what that is. I saw this the other day. Where is it? Gross receipts. It's so bad. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Keith Wargo here. Let's go back a little bit. So
is that Autism Speaks only cares about children. And it shows again how there is so much misinformation out there. And I'm wondering if you want to talk a little bit about the things that Autism Speaks is doing for the autistic and autism community, like, our grants and the WIN program, all of that.
Okay, the grants. That's what she just mentioned. These are the grants. Baylor College, Board of Regents, University of Wisconsin. This is not autistic people. Children's Health Care of Atlanta. These are all science grants. What for? Genetics. Science grants for genetics, pretty much. And you hear 250, 300,000. Regents, 100,000. This is all money going to, quote, science research that does not go to autistic people, to helping autistic people. It is not autistic services. The General Hospital Corporation. I wonder how much kickbacks these people are getting from this. I really do. Autism Cares Grant, fellowship grants, postdoctoral. I don't know what any of this is. Fellowship grants, predoctoral, Autism Cares Grant. I don't know what that is. I'm going to see what the Autism Cares Grant is. And it doesn't pop up. Grants for autism nonprofits. See? Okay, we're going to put grants for autistic people. How about that? Autism Speaks should show up, right? right? Autism Speaks should show up. Grants for autistic people. Oops. Not good enough. Disability research, nonprofit lawyers. Autism Speaks is not coming up here. Autism. What? Okay, wait a minute. This is interesting. I have not seen this before. Look at this. As soon as you go to Autism Speaks, this is why I said it's so egocentric. Look at this. It's going to give me money. Give me money. Autism grants for families, a list of grants from national organizations. Ability Found provides people with disability much needed equipment. I wonder if this is where Eileen Lamb got her son's little speak and spell thing. Toileting equipment. So they're talking about equipment. Summer scholarship program, iPads. Yeah, I bet you money out of that $400,000. I'm going to ask Eileen if I talk to her, who paid for that? Who paid for that? No, maybe insurance did. Holiday gift cards? Autism Cares Today. Now, the thing is, oh my goodness, look at all this stuff they do. I would love tracking on this. If I get if I can talk to Autism Speaks, I will make a I will ask them to show who got these grants. Show that these grants were paid off. I'm not really buying this. I just, maybe they're doing the absolute minimum. Coast Guard? Mutual assistance? Maggie Foundation? Okay, now I think, we're going to go down this rabbit hole. I think they're actually citing other, okay, this is how they're getting away with this. They make references to it! Oh my God! Oh my God! All they're doing is making references to, oh my God. Can you believe this? All they did is make references to grant programs on their site. There wasn't any Autism Speaks grants available.
Yeah, and I don't know whether it's just outright criticism or whether we need to do a better job of.
You definitely, actually, you just need to shut down. Like I said, when your starting point is genocide, imagine if. Once you go to genocide, it's not all okay. That is the worst of hate. You do not recover from that. It isn't an oopsie.
Making people.
When, what was it, 17 million people were unlifed by the Nazi regime. I can't remember. It was, 11 million? It was 7 million Jews and like 11 million people. The Nazi party can't just go, oops. Oopsie. We didn't mean to do that. That was a little mistake, but we're doing better now. See how that doesn't work? No, you need to abolish the Nazi party. That's all there is to it, and start some other socialist party that works better.
Aware of our program.
You don't try to fix something that can't be fixed.
Programs out there. I mean, our new PSA is 100% dedicated and focused on employment, and it's. The pickup of that PSA is something like 50% greater than our former PSA.
I don't even know what a PSA is.
It's all over the place. It's going to be in Times Square in a week or so, and so I think we're doing a good job of getting our word out there, but clearly not enough.
See how autistic people aren't being mentioned? They don't even mention them. This is not about autistic people. See how self-centered this is? What we're going to do, what we're going to do, what we're going to do. How about we are going to communicate with the autism community? We are going to make sure that we have tons of autistic people in Autism Speaks and that their words are taken and that the actually autistic community are hired at Autism Speaks that disagrees with them. So that way they can get a fair shot. But instead, they refuse to actually even speak to the autism community. They won't speak to me, and they asked me to talk. Keith Wargo specifically asked me to speak to him.
I've been in Washington twice over the last 3 months to testify to Congress about the importance of employment programs. But our employment program and trying to urge...
Did he have any autistic people with him? Why didn't, why didn't autistic people speak up for autistic people? Why is the CEO of Autism Speaks speaking for us instead? That's a big damn problem. You are speaking for us. Our voice does not matter to you, Keith. And it's very obvious on your website. Very obvious.
Of employing individuals on the spectrum and individuals with all disabilities, for that matter, the importance of employment programs. But our employment program and trying to urge and work with companies to understand the importance of employing individuals on the spectrum.
All right, this is Keith Wargo, CEO of Autism Speaks, talking about employing autistic people and how important it is. Now, this isn't an interview about the misconceptions of Autism Speaks. I will note the person interviewing him is Eileen Lamb, the one autistic person out of 216 people that I know of. That's the only person that I know of that is autistic and works for Autism Speaks. In other words, if you were to take a sample of random sample of 200 people, you will find more autistic people in that random sample than you will at Autism Speaks. Now watch what he says. Look how hypocritical this is.
Our employment for that matter, is